Have you ever wondered why some people can remember everything they read, while you struggle to recall even what you studied yesterday? Why some can absorb knowledge effortlessly, while others forget names, facts, and ideas almost instantly? The truth is, you don't need a genius brain. You just need the right method. In today's special episode of Kunzy Podcast English, we dive into the powerful techniques behind exceptional memory with the title, How to Remember Everything, Train Your Memory, and Learn Faster. This isn't just another podcast episode. This is a transformation, a journey where you'll discover how to turn your brain into a tool that works for you, not against you. Whether you're learning English, studying for exams, or building a sharper mind for life, this episode is your starting point. If you've ever doubted your memory, this is your chance to take it back. Because once you know how to train your brain, you don't just learn, you remember for life. Part 1. Set the right mindset to remember longer. Have you ever read the same page 3 times and still couldn't remember a thing? Or sat in front of your screen trying to study while your mind wandered elsewhere? Here's the truth. Memory doesn't start with remembering. It starts with attention. The very first step to building a strong memory is to pay full attention. No one can remember something if their mind is scattered. So turn off your phone. Eliminate the noise. Find a quiet space where you can pour your full focus into what you're learning. Most importantly, tell yourself, I want to remember this. That simple phrase is like flipping a mental switch that activates your brain's intention to memorize. Don't just study to know. Study like you'll have to teach it to someone else. Because when you prepare to teach, your brain works harder to understand, absorb, and organize the information. That's when real learning happens. But focus alone isn't enough. Long-term memory only grows when you truly understand what you're learning. That's why the next step is crucial. Understand before memorizing. Don't cram facts like a robot. Turn the knowledge into your own words. Try to explain it in a way that feels simple, clear, and personal, like you're telling a story to a child. The magic is this. When you can explain it clearly, it means you've already made it yours. Even better, don't treat new knowledge as something separate. Connect it to what you already know. Imagine each new piece of knowledge as a thread woven into a bigger fabric, your existing mental network. When information has meaning, it doesn't just stick, it becomes unforgettable. Part 2, Powerful Memory Techniques. In a world overflowing with information, your greatest edge is not how fast you scroll, but how deeply you remember. Memory isn't a gift reserved for the chosen few. It's a trainable skill, and if you learn how to use it right, it becomes your superpower. One of the most effective techniques is to turn complex information into simple words and images. Our brains aren't computers. We don't store data. We store emotions, pictures, colors, and weirdness. Instead of memorizing dry definitions, imagine turning them into vivid scenes. Want to remember oxidation? Don't just memorize the term. Picture a bright red apple turning brown after being cut and left out. That visual story will stick in your mind long after textbook words have faded. But remembering once isn't enough. You have to repeat, and repeat smart, not random cramming. You need spaced repetition, reviewing content just before you forget it. This is how you move facts from short-term memory to long-term retention. Start with a review after 1 day, then 3 days, then a week, a month. Each review strengthens the neural path until it becomes automatic. You're not just remembering. You're wiring your brain for success. If you think handwriting is outdated in the digital age, think again. Writing by hand engages your brain in a deeply personal way. It's slower, and that's exactly why it works. When you write, you have to slow down, think about the meaning, form the words, and physically draw them. Your eyes, your hands, your thoughts, they all align. You're not copying. You're internalizing. Then comes the most powerful test of your knowledge. Can you teach it? When you try to explain something to another person, you instantly see where your understanding is solid and where it falls apart. Teaching forces you to organize your thoughts, simplify the complex, and speak clearly. You might feel nervous, but it's worth it. Teaching is the ultimate proof that you've truly learned. Don't underestimate the power of mnemonics, those quirky tricks that turn boring data into unforgettable stories. Whether it's rhymes, acronyms, or silly associations, mnemonics work because they make your brain smile. Want to remember the order of the planets? Try, "My very educated mother just served us nachos." It's playful, yes, but powerful. However, memory isn't just about packing in more and more. It's about organizing what you know. Think of your brain as a library, not a storage box. Use headings, charts, mind maps, and clear categories. Organize your ideas visually and mentally. When knowledge is structured, it's easier to retrieve, easier to expand upon, and easier to master. In the end, there's no magic pill, but there is a method. Each technique you apply, from turning ideas into pictures, to teaching others, to writing by hand, is a brick in the foundation of your lifelong learning ability. Train your memory, and you're not just remembering facts, you're shaping a better version of yourself. Part 3, learn through senses and experience. Have you ever wondered why a song you've only heard a few times can get stuck in your head, while a math formula just slips away no matter how often you read it? The answer lies in how you learned it. With the song, you probably heard it, felt the rhythm, maybe even sang along or moved your body to it. You were engaging your senses, and that's one of the most powerful ways to learn anything. The human brain wasn't built to memorize cold, printed words on a page. It was designed to respond to images, sounds, emotions, and movement. When you learn using all your senses, speaking out loud, listening, writing, drawing, and even touching objects if possible, you're not just reading or hearing, you're experiencing. That multi-sensory experience creates deeper, stronger neural pathways. Learning becomes not just something you do, it becomes something you feel. Imagine you're learning English vocabulary. Instead of just reading the word banana and trying to memorize it, grab a real banana, peel it, smell it, take a bite, and say the word banana out loud. Sounds silly? Not at all. That one small moment engages your taste, smell, touch, hearing, and sight, and all of it sends powerful signals to your brain. That word won't be forgotten anytime soon. But sensory learning is just the beginning. To make knowledge stick, you must connect the new to the old. The brain is a web, and every new piece of information needs to hook onto something you already know. Without that connection, the new knowledge floats, untethered, and easily lost. Whenever you learn something new, ask yourself, what does this remind me of? How does this relate to something I've seen or done? Let's say you're learning about a physics principle. Try to remember a real-life moment where that principle showed up. Maybe you once slipped on a wet floor. That moment of slipping, the surprise, the emotion, all of it can anchor the concept of friction deep into your memory. The more emotional or vivid the connection, the more lasting the memory becomes. Now let's talk about one of the smartest tools modern learners can use: mind maps. Instead of traditional linear notes, start organizing your ideas like the branches of a tree. Begin with a central concept and expand outward with related keywords. Add colors, symbols, or quick sketches, anything that sparks a visual connection. Mind maps help you see the big picture at a glance. They turn boring bullet points into living diagrams, and they activate both sides of your brain, the logical left and the creative right. That dual activation makes information easier to remember, easier to retrieve, and far more enjoyable to study. It's like creating a treasure map for your brain. In the end, learning should never feel lifeless. It should be alive, emotional, sensory, experiential. When you combine hearing, speaking, seeing, writing, and even touching, you turn learning into a journey, not a chore. And when learning becomes an experience, memory becomes a treasure, one you'll carry with you for life. Part 4, a strong body, a powerful memory. You can have all the books in the world, the best techniques, even the fanciest study desk. But if your body is tired and your brain is foggy, all those efforts may vanish like smoke. If you want to study well, you must first take care of yourself. A strong memory begins with a strong body. One of the most overlooked aspects of learning is sleep. While you're asleep, your brain isn't resting. It's hard at work. Imagine it as a quiet librarian, sorting everything you've learned during the day, filing memories into the right drawers so you can access them later. When you get enough sleep, ideally 7 to 8 hours a night, your brain has the opportunity to consolidate and store information for the long term. When you're sleep deprived, your concentration drops, your memory suffers, and even your mood takes a hit. Sleep isn't just a reward after studying, it's the foundation of effective learning. But sleep alone isn't enough. Your brain is part of your body, and just like your muscles need nutrients, so does your mind. What you eat doesn't just affect your waistline or your energy. It also affects your memory, focus, and clarity of thought. Feed your brain the right way. Include brain-boosting foods like salmon, rich in omega-3s, nuts like walnuts and almonds, leafy green vegetables, eggs, and berries like blueberries and strawberries. These superfoods have been scientifically shown to enhance memory, increase attention span, and slow cognitive decline. On the flip side, diets high in refined sugar, junk food, and sugary drinks create inflammation and reduce your brain's efficiency. When your brain is inflamed, you might experience mental fog, a sluggish feeling where everything feels harder to process. That's not how a focused mind should work. Don't let a fast food meal sabotage your entire day of studying. And here comes the third pillar: physical activity. Your body was made to move. When you exercise, even something as simple as a daily 30-minute walk, light stretching, or dancing, you increase blood flow to your brain, delivering more oxygen and nutrients to your neurons. Regular exercise doesn't just keep your body fit, it releases endorphins, the happy chemicals that elevate your mood, boost mental clarity, and help you retain information more effectively. Too often, we treat studying as a purely mental activity, but that's far from the truth. Memory is the result of a well-nourished, well-rested, and active body. A good night's sleep, a smart meal, and just a few minutes of movement each day can fuel your brain like premium gasoline powers an engine. So if you're looking to sharpen your memory, don't start with books. Start with your body. Sleep well, eat smart, Move regularly and watch your brain come alive. You'll remember more, think faster, and learn easier, not through struggle, but through balance and care. Part 5, Psychology and Tools. The silent keys to lasting memory learning isn't just about methods, books, or study hours. Behind strong memory lies a quiet but powerful realm: your mindset, emotions, and the way you relate to yourself. When your mind is aligned, your memory becomes unshakable. One crucial but often forgotten factor in learning is believing in yourself. Whether you're learning a new language, preparing for an exam, or tackling a complex concept, your first step should be telling yourself, "I can do this." It may sound simple, but this inner belief activates your brain's full potential. A positive mind approaches learning with curiosity, patience, and drive. It opens the door for new neural connections. On the other hand, if you think, "I'm terrible at this," your brain goes into defense mode and blocks new information. Positivity doesn't mean you're always cheerful. It means staying committed even when things are hard. It's a conscious decision to keep going, to try again, and to believe that each review, each attempt brings you one step closer to success. Alongside a positive mindset, mindfulness and meditation are powerful tools to boost memory and focus. Practicing meditation, even for just 5 to 10 minutes a day, trains your brain to stay present and reduces stress and anxiety. In a world full of noise and endless notifications, deep focus is a superpower. Meditation helps you study with a calm mind, allows you to absorb information more deeply, and gives your memory a solid foundation. When you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious, try sitting still, breathing deeply, and observing your thoughts without judgment. Just a few moments of silence can reset your nervous system and bring your mind back to the optimal learning state. In that stillness, your memory strengthens and understanding grows. Finally, don't forget to leverage the power of technology wisely. We live in a time where learning has never been more accessible. With just a smartphone, you have an entire toolkit at your fingertips. Flashcard apps like Anki or Quizlet, spaced repetition vocabulary trainers, digital mind maps, audio notes, visual cues. These tools can turn learning into a game and make remembering as natural as breathing. But remember, technology is a double-edged sword. It can accelerate your progress or completely derail your focus. Each time you open your phone to study and end up scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, you're training your brain to seek distraction. So use technology. Don't let it use you. Set do not disturb modes, use distraction blockers, and create a dedicated study space. These are not just productivity hacks, they're memory protectors. Positive psychology, inner calm, and the right tools, they may seem small, but they are silent forces shaping your brain. If you take care of your mind, learn when to be still and when to act, and choose tools that support you rather than distract, no knowledge is too hard to retain. Memory doesn't live just in your brain. It lives in the way you think, feel, and choose every single day. Train your memory like a muscle. The key to mastering life. Memory isn't some magical gift that only a lucky few are born with. It is a skill, just like playing an instrument, speaking a language, or building a habit. And that means it can be trained, strengthened, and refined over time. You don't need to be a genius to have a good memory. What you truly need is consistency, the right methods, and most importantly, belief in your own ability to grow. Many people go through life thinking they have a bad memory. They say, "I always forget," or "I'm just not good at learning." But the truth is, the human brain is remarkably adaptable. Every time you repeat information, connect a new concept to an old experience, get enough sleep, or move your body, you are reinforcing your brain's memory network in powerful ways. Small daily actions create big changes. Writing things down by hand instead of typing, using vivid images instead of rote memorization, speaking aloud instead of silently reading. These may seem minor, but practiced consistently over weeks, they will completely transform your ability to remember and understand. Improving your memory doesn't just help you learn English more effectively. It sharpens your thinking, improves communication, builds confidence, and opens doors to success. Professionally, socially, and personally. When you master your memory, you begin to master your mind. You don't need to change everything at once. Just commit to training your brain a few minutes each day. Over time, you'll begin to notice results you once thought were impossible. You don't need a photographic memory to succeed. You only need the decision to start training your brain today. If you found this podcast episode helpful or inspiring, I encourage you to show your support. Hit the like button to help spread this message to more people. Subscribe to Kunzy Podcast English so you never miss an episode full of practical strategies and motivational insights. And share this podcast with someone you care about, because sometimes one good message is all it takes to change someone's life. Leave a comment and tell me which strategy you found most helpful or what topics you'd love to explore next. I read every message and I'm here to grow alongside you on this journey. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and never stop believing in the incredible power of your own mind.